Hey, good evening, listeners tuning in from all around the world, including Canada, USA, areas of Long Island, plus the regional areas of the five boroughs of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens. I'm your man, G Money Stacks, aka the host with the most, aka YouTuber who has two shows on YouTube, aka Lonely Nomad, aka The Gregonator, aka Rookie Podcaster of Queens, New York. And you are now rocking with Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast, episode 10. Give it up for reaching the 10th episode. Now, listen up. In the previous episode, I actually said that I'm taking a break from Twitch because of the simple fact that I found out a couple weeks ago that Twitch deletes everybody's videos in 14 days. So the reason I'm doing it on YouTube is because I'm trying to prevent any videos from being deleted. So that's why I'm recording on YouTube instead of Twitch. All right. Um, Also, if you are a new listener and a new YouTuber watcher and you miss any previous episodes whatsoever, don't worry. I got you. I need you to subscribe to the Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast YouTube channel page. Be sure to enable alerts. Be sure to tap the notification bell so you can be reminded of when the show goes on the air via live live stream. Also, um, don't forget to like, comment on the episodes. Be sure you share the videos. Be sure to share the podcast along with the audio streaming platforms, which will be discussed at the end of the show. All right. In today's episode, we are going to go over the discography of Rakim. Um, Now, for those of you who may not know who Rakim is, of course, I'm going to um, get to how he got started. Okay, so if you were to ask me, hang on a minute, guys. Okay, so we're gonna go to. All right, all right. We're going to go to his Wikipedia page. Okay, so we're gonna go to his discography. But first, I want to read about what he is, who he is actually. For those of you who may not know who he is, um, original name William Michael Griffin Jr., born January 28th, 1968, better known by his stage name Rakim, is an American rapper and record producer, one half of Golden Age hip hop duo R&B and Rakim. He is widely regarded as one of the most influential and most skilled MCs of all time. All right. Rakim is considered an influential figure in hip hop by raising the bar for MC technique higher than it had ever been. Rakim helped to pioneer the use of internal rhymes and multi-syllabic rhymes, to be exact. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a future episode. The difference between the internal rhymes and multi-syllabic rhymes. We'll discuss that in a future episode. All right, and he was among the first to demonstrate the possibilities of sitting down to write intricately crafted lyrics packed with clever word choices and metaphors rather than the more improvisational styles and simpler rhyme patterns that predominated before him. Rakim is also credited with creating the overall shift from the more simplistic old school flows to more complex flows. Rapper Kool Mo D explained that before Rakim, the term flow wasn't widely used. Rakim is basically the inventor of flow. We were not even using the word flow until Rakim came along. It was called rhyming, it was called cadence, but it wasn't called flow. Rakim created flow. Rakim released 4 albums with DJ Eric B, Paid in Full, Follow the Leader, Let the Rhythm Hit, Let the excuse me, Let the Rhythm Hit Him, and Don't Sweat the Technique. He has released 3 solo albums: The 18th Ladder, The Master, and The 17th Seal. Paid in Full was named the greatest hip hop album of all time by MTV in 2006, while Rakim himself was ranked number 4 on MTV's list of the greatest MCs of all time. Steve Huey of AllMusic stated that Rakim is near universally acknowledged as one of the greatest MCs, perhaps the greatest of all time within the hip hop community. The editors of About.com ranked him number 2 on their list of the top 50 MCs of our time, 1987 to 2007. In 2012, the source ranked him number 1 on their list of the top 50 lyricists of all time. Okay. Um, okay, we're gonna go to his how his career got started. All right. Pairing with Eric B from 1985, that was the year I was born, to 1992. First meeting in 1985, Eric B and Rakim went on to release 4 studio albums before their separation in 1992. The duo were described by journalist Tom Terrell of NPR as the most influential DJ slash MC combo in contemporary pop music, period, while the editors of About.com ranked them as number 4 on their list of the 10 greatest hip hop duos of all time. They were nominated for induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2011. Although they did not make the final selection. 1986 to 87. Beginnings and classic debut. After Rakim responded to Eric B's search for New York's top MC, Eric B is Eric B's friend and roommate Molly Marr allowed them to use his home studio. The first tracks they recorded, Eric B is President and My Melody, were released as a single B-side on the independent Zakia Records in 1986. 1986. After Def Jam Recordings founder Russell Simmons heard the single, the duo were signed to Island Records and began recording the album in Manhattan's Power Play Studios in 1987. On July 7, 1987, the duo released their debut album, Paid in Full, on the Island's subsidiary label, Fourth and B-Way Records. The album peaked at number 58 on the Billboard 200 chart and produced 5 singles. Eric B is President, I Ain't No Joke, I Know You Got Soul, Move the Crowd, and Paid in Full. 1988 to 1989, sophomore peak. While its singles attained moderate success, the album performed better on music charts than Eric B and Rakim's debut album and reached number 22 on the U.S. Billboard Pop Albums charts. It has been certified gold by the Recording Industry Association of America for shipments in excess of 500,000 copies in the United States. Released during the hip hop's golden age, Follow the Leader was well received by critics and has since been recognized by music writers as one of the most groundbreaking and influential hip hop albums of all time. American author William Jelani Cobb wrote of the album's significance. On the heels of Paid in Full, Eric B. and Rakim delivered a full clip of album title Follow the Leader in 1988, featuring a broader spectrum of sounds than the James Brown samples that had defined the initial release. Follow the Leader saw Rakim at his most lyrically fierce, issuing death threats on such tracks as Microphone Fiend, Lyrics of Fury, and the nearly felonious No Competition. The release marked the high point in the collaboration between the two and prefaced the long slide they faced in 1990s. 1990 and 92, final albums and Dissolution. Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em, released in 1990, was Eric B. and Rakim's third album. This album was the duo's sound developed further, with Rakim adopting a deeper, more aggressive tone of voice, as well as more mature and serious subject matter. Musically, the production ranges from smoother, soulful tracks such as In the Ghetto to the hard-edged assault of the title track. Though it could not support singles as popular as the duo's previous albums, it is considered by many to be the duo's most coherent album. It is one of the few albums to have received a 5 mic rating from the source. Hang on, guys. Okay. Um, in 1998, the album was selected as one of the Source's 100 Best Rap Albums. The back cover features a dedication to the memories of Rakim's father William and producer Paul C., who had worked on many of the album's tracks before his murder in July 1989. Damn. His protege, Large Professor, completed his work. Neither received credit in the album's notes. In 1992, Eric B. and Rakim released their fourth and final album, Don't Sweat the Technique. The title track was a minor radio hit. Casualties of War was also released as a single. Know the Ledge first appeared in the film Juice, which I reviewed not too long ago. Under the title Juice, Know the Ledge. However, Eric B. refused to sign MCA's release contract, fearful that Rakim would abandon him. This led to a long, complicated court battle involving the two musicians and MCA. The legal wrangling eventually led to the duo dissolving completely. Solo career, 1993 to the present. After his breakup with Eric B. in early 1993, Rakim kept a low profile, only making one notable appearance on the soundtrack to the 1993 film Gunman. A reshuffling in MCA caused Rakim to be dropped from the label in 1994. Rakim continued to struggle with legal problems. He secured a deal with Universal Records and began recording his solo debut album, The 18th Letter, in 1996. In 1997, the album The 18th Letter was released. Expectations were high for Rakim as the album debuted at number 4 on the Billboard 200 and went certified gold by the RIAA. In June 1999, Rakim appeared on 3 tracks of Seduction of Claude Debussy by Art of Noise. AllMusic's Keith Farley notes that the album charts the artistic use of sampled breakbeats pioneered by the Art of Noise themselves, with nods to 80s hip hop plus their 90s equivalent drum and bass. In 1999 of November, Rakim released The Master, which received good reviews but sold poorly. Rakim was signed to Dr. Dre's Aftermath Entertainment record label in 2000 for work on an album tentatively titled Oh My God. The album underwent numerous changes in artistic direction and personnel and was delayed several times. While working on the album, Rakim made guest appearances on 4 Aftermath projects, including the hit single Addictive by True Hurts and its remix, which featured a different Rakim verse from the main version. The Dr. Dre produced The Watcher Part 2 by Jay-Z and Eminem's 8 Mile soundtrack with the track Rakim. However, Rakim left the label in 2003 and Oh My God was indefinitely shelved. After Rakim eventually left Aftermath Entertainment, he stated that the reason he departed the label was because of creative differences with Dr. Dre. Rakim used a metaphorical example that Dr. Dre wanted Rakim to write about killing someone, while Rakim wanted to write about the resurrection of someone. Rakim retreated to his Connecticut estate to work leisurely on music. Not having released an album since 1999, he eschewed touring and favored in frequent gigs. Rakim was able to retain the tracks he had made with Dr. Dre, and in 2006 announced that he would release a new studio album, The Seventh Seal. The album was delayed in 2009. Instead, he followed up with a live album, The Archive, Live, Lost, and Found, in 2008. In an interview with Billboard in 2007, when asked about the story behind the Seven Seals title, Rakim said, "The number 7 has a lot of significance. The 7th letter of the supreme alphabet is G. That stands for God. There are 7 continents, 7 seas. The 7th seal deals with that and also some revelations in the Bible. Some call it the end of the world, but for me, it's the end of the old and the beginning of the new. By me naming my album that, I'm using it metaphorically in hip hop. I'm hoping to kill the old state of hip hop and start with the new." Interesting. Interesting statement. Hang on, guys. I gotta take a drink. Okay. The seals are from the Bible, Revelations, and the coming of the apocalypse. But Islam, Judaism, Christianity all have a version of the same events. The Lion of Judah breaks the 7 seals one by one, each imparting knowledge and inflicting catastrophe, ending with 7 trumpets announcing the end times. After the apocalypse, God rises from the ashes to recreate the kingdom, taking only the greatest elements from the past with them. When you look at hip hop, I want to do that, to spit fire and take our best from the ashes to build our kingdom, to recognize um, all the regional styles, conscious lyrics, the tracks, underground, mainstream, the way we treat each other, lose the garbage and rebuild our scene. I've always tried to insert consciousness and spirituality in my records, interpreting the writings of all cultures and religions and how they apply to life in modern times. Um, the Seventh Seal was released on November 17th, 2009, after several delays on Rakim's own Raw Records, TVM, and SMC Recordings, and distributed through Fontana and Universal Music Group. Considered a comeback album after a 10-year gap between releases. The album features the two singles, Holy Are You, which was released on July 14th, 2009, and Walk These Streets, which was released on October 7th, 2009. It features production from several renowned hip hop artists, including Knots, Jay Wells, Needles, Jake One, and Nick Wiz. The album sold 12,000 copies in the United States by November 20, excuse me, November 22nd to be exact, 2009, according to SoundScan. Upon its release, the Seventh Seal received generally mixed or average reviews from most music critics. It holds an aggregate score of 59 out of 100 at Metacritic. Um, 2011 to the present, fourth studio album. All right. Um, in 2011, Rakim performed Paid in Full, and it's entirely at the Blue Note Jazz Club in New York City in honor of the album's 25th anniversary. He was backed by The Roots. In 2012, Rakim announced that he and Eric B. would release a 25th anniversary edition of their 1987 album Paid in Full, which would contain new tracks recorded by Eric B. and Rakim by the end of 2012. Rakim announced he would release a new solo album by the end of 2012. He performed at the annual Roots Picnic in Philadelphia in June. In an interview with Detroit Free Press, he announced he was in the studio with Pharrell Williams working on a new album set to be released in 2013, saying the first single will be released before the end of the year. On September 24th, 2013, he released a collaboration single with DMX entitled Don't Call Me. In 2014, Rakim is featured on the collaborative single with American rock band Linkin Park titled Guilty All the Time. The song was released on March 6th, 2014 under Warner Brothers Records as the first single from their sixth studio album titled The Hunting Party. He contributed his rap vocals during the bridge for the main version of the song. However, he is not featured on a radio edit of the song. The song was officially released on March 7th, 2014 for digital download. On April 27th, 2015, Rakim announced he was working on a new album and planned to release it in the middle or end of 2015. He said, Um, end quote. This is one of those albums where I can have fun. My last album, The Seventh Seal, was somewhat of a conscious album. I wanted to make a statement on that album. In late June 2018, a new song, King's Paradise, was released on the Luke Cage Season 2 soundtrack. Rakim performed the song for the first time on NPR's Tiny Desk concert series, along with former Tribe Called Quest member Ali Shaheed Muhammad and producer Adrian Young. Reunion with Eric B. 2016 to the present on October 20th, 2016. It was announced via Twitter that Rakim had reunited with Eric B. after 26 years of dissolution. The duo teased a potential reunion tour the next morning, hosting a poll for the fans to give their opinion on what city Eric B. and Rakim should start the tour. Four locations were the potential candidates: New York City, Las Vegas, London, and Australia. Since the announcement of the reunion, fans have speculated if the two will drop a new studio album in the near future. Okay, artistry. Rakim's rhyming deviated from the simple rhyme patterns of early 1980s hip hop. His free rhythm style ignored bar lines and had earned comparisons to jazz and pianist Thelonious Monk. The New York Times Ben Ratliff wrote that Rakim's unblustery rapping developed the form beyond the flat-footed rhythms of schoolyard rhymes. While many rappers developed their technique through improvisation, Rakim was one of the first to demonstrate advantages of a writerly, writerly to be exact, style, as with, for instance, his pioneering to be exact, use of internal rhymes and multi-syllabic rhymes. Unlike previous rappers such as LL Cool J, KRS-One, and Run DMC, who delivered their vocals with high energy, Rakim employed a relaxed, stoic delivery. According to MTV, we've been used to be MCs like Run DMC's Chuck D and KRS-One leaping on the mic, shouting with energy and a, a, a I'm not even going to butcher this word, but Rakim took a method, methodical, methodical approach to to his microphone feeding. He had a slow flow, and every line was blunt, mesmeric. Rakim's relaxed delivery results from his jazz influences. He had the saxophone and was a John Coltrane fan. Okay, artists and critics often credit Rakim with creating the overall shift from the more simplistic old school flows to more complex flows. Um, Kumo D says, in quote, any MC that came after 1986 had to study Rakim just to know what to be able to do. Rakim in 1986 gave us flow, and that was the rhyme style from 1986 to 1984. From that point on, anybody MCing was forced to focus on their flow. Kumo D explains that before Rakim, the term flow wasn't widely used. End quote. Rakim is basically the inventor of flow. We were not even using the word flow until Rakim came along. It was called rhyming. It was called cadence, but it wasn't called flow. Rakim created flow. he adds that while Rakim upgraded and popularized the focus on flow, he didn't invent the word. Rakim's subject matter often covered his own rapping skills and lyrical superiority over other rappers. Hang on, guys. Okay. All music editor Steve Huey comments that, in quote, the majority of his lyrics concern his own skills and his Islamic faith. He also notes Rakim for his complex internal rhymes, compounding, literate imagery, velvet smooth flow, and unpredictable off the beat rhythms. Pitchfork writer Jess Harville described his rapping as author authoritative, burnished, and possessing an unflappable sense of rhythm. Okay. Hold on. All right. Now we go to the legacy right here. Just bear with me. Paid in Full was released during the period that became known as Golden Age hip hop, as I considered it the duo's magnum opus in his book, The Men Behind Def Jam. Rakim's rapping set a blueprint for future rappers and helped secure East Coast hip hop's reputation for innovative lyrical technique. William Jelani Kyle stated in his book to the break of dawn that his rapping had stepped outside of the preceding era of old school hip hop, and that while the vocabulary and lyrical dexterity of newer rappers had improved, it was nowhere near what Rakim introduced to the genre. New York Times' Dmitry Ehrlich, who described the album as an artistic and commercial benchmark, credited Rakim for helping give birth to a musical genre and leading a quiet musical revolution, introducing a soft-spoken rapping style. Although, no, excuse me, AllMusic's Steve Huey declared Paid in Full one of hip-hop's most influential albums and essential listening. For those interested in the genre's basic musical foundations, MTV ranked it at #1 in the greatest hip-hop albums of all time, stating it raised the standards of hip-hop both sonically and poetically, and described it as cultivating profound, innovative, and instantly influential. The album is broken down track by track by Rakim in Brian Coleman's book, Check the Technique. So Rolling Stone magazine listed at number 227 on the 500 greatest albums of all time, calling it ice grilled, laid back, diamond sharp. Hold on, guys. All right. Okay. Rakim is a front runner in the race for best rapper ever, and this album is a big reason why. Similarly, Blender magazine included the album in its 500 CDs you must own before you die. Sheesh! What a title. That's crazy, isn't it? Time magazine listed it as one of the 18 albums of the 1980s in its all-time 100 albums. Editor Alan Light acknowledged the record for changing the sound, flow, and potential of hip hop, in that if Rakim is the greatest MC of all time, as many argue, this album is the evidence. Okay, I would really agree with that, of course. And yes, I will agree that this is a classic, and I'll explain after I review other stuff. All right. um. Okay. Jess Harville of Pitchfork complimented Rakim for an endless display of pure skill and described the album as laid back and funky, but believed it contained too much filler to get a free classic pass. Pitchfork placed Paid in Full at number 52 in its top 100s, top 100 albums of the 1980s, to be exact. Editor Sam Chennault wrote that Rakim inspired a generation of MCs and defined what it meant to be a hip hop lyricist. The rappers who have used the unique rapping style employed by Rakim and attribute it as inspiration include GZA, Ghostface Killer, and Raekwon from the Wu-Tang Clan, Tupac, Nas, Kool G Rap, Jay-Z, the Notorious B.I.G., Eminem, 50 Cent, and many more. On July 11, 1995, the Recording Industry Association of America certified the album platinum. As of December 1997, it was sold over 1 million copies. Okay, like I said, the studio albums, yes. Went over the 18th Ladder, 1997, Master, 1999, Seventh Seal, 2009, Paid in Full, 1987, as Eric B. and Rakim, Follow the Leader, 1988, Let the Rhythm Hit, Let the Rhythm Hit 'em, Don't Sweat the Technique. Also, one of my favorite Rakim songs is When I Get on the Mic, was one of my favorite songs ever. And I should say that because of the beat that kind of got me um got me chilling in my room while I'm vibing to the song and stuff. So anyway, so that's the review for Rakim's albums and stuff. I'm going to go over the two movies. Before I even go to the other Space Jam movie that came out this year, we gotta talk about the one from 1996. All right, so hang on, guys, as I take a drink. Okay, let me see how much time I have. Okay. All right. So Space Jam. Here we go. Space Jam is a 1996 American live-action animated science fiction sports comedy film directed by Joe Pytka and starring basketball player Michael Jordan. The film presents a fictionalized account of the timeline between Jordan's initial retirement from the NBA in 1983 and his 1985 return, during which he is enlisted by the Looney Tunes characters to aid them in a basketball match against visiting aliens who intended to enslave them as attractions for their theme park. Wayne Knight and Teresa Randall appear in supporting roles, while Billy West, D. Bradley Baker, Kath Soucie, and Danny DeVito headlined the voice cast. Okay, yeah, that's crazy. Anyway, um, so Space Jam was the first film to be produced by Warner Brothers Feature Animation and was released theatrically in the United States on November 15th, 1996 by Warner Brothers under their Family Entertainment banner. The film received mixed reviews from critics who were divided over its premise of combining Jordan and his profession with the Looney Tunes characters, although the technical achievements of its intertwining of live action and animation were praised. It was a box office success, grossing over $250 million worldwide and becoming the highest grossing basketball film of all time, as well as the 10th highest grossing film of 1996. Yeah, that's interesting. A television film crossover with Teen Titans Go. Teen Titans Go see Space Jam and aired on aired on Cartoon Network in June 2021. Following several years in development, a standalone sequel starring LeBron James, Space Jam: A New Legacy, was released in July 2021. I will review that next. Okay, let's go over the music aspect of the soundtrack, shall we? Um, okay. So the soundtrack sold enough albums to be certified as 6 times platinum. It also served as a high point for musical artist R. Kelly, whose song I Believe I Can Fly not only was a hit, but earned him 2 Grammy Awards. Other tracks included a cover of Steve Miller Band's Fly Like an Eagle by Seal, Hit 'em High, Monsters Anthem by Be Real, Busta Rhymes, Coolio, LL Cool J, and Method Man, Basketball Jones by Barry White and Chris Rock, Pump Up the Jam by Technotronic, I Turn to You by All for One, and For You I Will by Monica. The film's title song was performed by the KC Quad City DJs. There was also an original scoring soundtrack featuring most of James Newton Howard's scores from the film, except the main Marie Melody's theme itself. Okay. And of course, Warner Bros. Released Space Jam through a family entertainment division on November 15, 1986. Box office, Space Jam grossed $90.5 million in the United States and Canada and $159.7 million in other territories for a worldwide total of $250.2 million. Domestically, it debuted to 27.5 million from 2,650 theaters, topping the box office. The film then made 16.2 million in its sophomore weekend and 13.6 million in its third. In China, the film was released in 1987 and grossed $24.1 million. Um, okay, I'm not gonna go over the whole media. We're gonna go to okay, all right. Space Jam later expanded into a media franchise which includes comics, video games, and merchandise. The Space Jam franchise is estimated to have generated 6 billion in total revenue. This includes a wide variety of merchandise such as Air Jordans, Bugs Bunny shirts, Happy Meals, Muggsy Bogues jerseys, and Tweety gowns. Comics. The film was adapted into a graphics novel published by DC Comics through their imprint, Warner Brothers Reading, that was published the Looney Tunes, Tiny Toon Adventures, Animaniacs, and Pinky and the Brain monthly comic books. The special issue was written by David Cody Weiss and drawn by Leonardo Batic. Video game, a licensed pinball game by Sega, video game for the PlayStation, Sega Saturn, and MS-DOS by Acclaim, and a handheld LCD game by Tiger Electronics were released based on the film. Now we go to the reception. We go to the reception right here. Okay, hang on, guys. All right. Now we go to the reception right here. Critical response on review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes. The film holds an approval rating of 44% based on 79 reviews with an average rating of 5.4 out of 10. The website's critics' consensus read, in quote, while it's no slam dunk, Space Jam's silly Looney Tunes laden slapstick and vivid animation will leave younger viewers satisfied, though accompanying adults may be more annoyed than entertained. Metacritic assigned the film a weighted average score of 59 out of 100, based on 22 critics, indicating mixed of average reviews. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of A- on an A+ to F scale. Roger Ebert and Gene Siskel of the Chicago Sun-Times, to be exact, and Chicago Tribune both gave Space Jam a thumbs up, although Siskel's praise was more reversed. In his review, Ebert gave the film 3.5 stars and noted Space Jam is a happy marriage of good ideas. 3 films for the price of one, giving us a comic treatment of the career adventures of Michael Jordan crossed with a Looney Tunes cartoon and some showbiz warfare. The result is delightful, a family movie in the best sense, which means the adults will enjoy it too. Siskel focused much of his praise on Jordan's performance, saying he wisely accepted as a first movie a script that builds nicely on his genial personality in an assortment of TV ads. The sound bites are just a little longer. Leonard Maltin also gave the film a positive review, 3 stars, stating that Jordan is very engaging. The vintage characters perform admirably, and the computer-generated special effects are a collective knockout. Todd McCarthy of Variety praised the film for its humor as well as the Looney Tunes antics and Jordan's acting. Although Janet Maslin of the New York Times criticized the film's animation, she later went on to say that the film is a fond tribute to the Looney Tunes characters past. Michael Wilmington of the Chicago Tribune complained about some aspects of the movie, stating, "We don't get the co-star's best stuff. Michael doesn't soar enough. The Looney Tunes don't pulverize us that the way they did when Chuck Jones, Fritz Freeling, or Bob Clampett were in charge." Yet overall, he also liked the film, giving it 3 stars and saying, "Is it cute? Yes. Is it a crowd pleaser? Yeah. Is it a classic? Nope." I would have to disagree with that, and I'll explain afterwards. Though it could have been. Um, TV Guide gave the movie only 2 stars, calling it a cynical attempt to cash in on the popularity of Warner Bros. Cartoon characters and basketball player Michael Jordan, inspired by a Nike commercial. Margaret A. McGirt of the Cincinnati Enquirer gave the film 2.5 stars out of 4. Writing technical spectacle amounts to nothing without a good story. Okay. Accolades. 1987 ASC, ASCAP Film and Television Music Awards, won by Most Performed Songs from Motion Picture, Diane Warren for the song For You, I Will. Won Top Box Office Films, James Newton Howard. 1987 Annie Awards, won Best Individual Achievement, Technical Achievement, nomination Best Animated Feature, nomination Best Individual Achievement, Directing in a Feature Production, Bruce W. Smith and Tony Savon. Nomination Best Individual Achievement, Producing in a Feature Production, Ron Tip. 1987 Grammy Awards, won Best Song Written Specifically for Motion Picture for television, R. Kelly for the song I Believe I Can Fly. 1987 MTV Movie Awards, nomination Best Movie Song, R. Kelly for the song I Believe I Can Fly. 1987 Satellite Awards, nomination Best Motion Picture, Animated or Mixed Media, Daniel Goldberg, Joe Medjuk, Yvonne Rittman. 1987 World Animation Celebration, won Best Use of Animation in a Motion Picture Trailer. Young Artists Awards, nomination Best Family Feature, Animation or Special Effects. Okay, in other media, um, to be exact, the Monstars make a cameo in the Pinky and the Brain episode Star Warners. Jordan himself, who was a spokesman for MCI Communications before the film was made, would appear with the Looney Tunes characters as his Space Jam buddies in several MCI commercials for several years after the film was released, before MCI merged with WorldCom and subsequently Verizon Communications. Bugs had previously appeared with Jordan as Hair Jordan in Nike ads for the Air Jordan 7 and Air Jordan 8. In the next theatrical Looney Tunes film, Looney Tunes Back in Action, Jordan appears in archive footage from this film as one of Mr. Chairman's Steve Martin disguises. in 2013, Yahoo Screen released a parody of ESPN's 30 for 30 about the game shown in the film. The short dates the game as taking place on November 17, 1995. Although Jordan's real life return to basketball occurred on March 18th. In April 2019, the website SB Nation ran a mockumentary. Oh, what the fuck is a mockumentary? I digress on that shit though. As an April Fool's Day episode of its popular Rewinder series on Jordan's climatic shot. The Nerdlux appeared in the Teen Titans Go original movie Teen Titans Go See Space Jam, which aired on Cartoon Network on June 20th, 2021 of this year and was released on digital on July 27th, 2021, which I did take a look at it though. And it seems pretty cool though. The Teen Titans. I didn't think they was gonna do a movie with the Teen Titans with Space Jam. Oh shit. Oh shit. Um, so the film's official website, spacejam.com, created in 1996 alongside promotion of the film, remained unchanged but active for 25 years prior to the release of the film sequel and an unusual aspect to film production, no, excuse me, promotion websites. The site was one of the earliest movie promotion websites and included a number of unrefined web design facets, such as heavy use of animated GIFs. While the site's content had been moved under Warner Brothers site around 2003, the site's design gained a resurgence of interest around 2010 as an historical artifact of the early days of the web, and Warner Brothers returned the site to the spacejam.com address in response. Following the release of Space Jam: A New Legacy first trailer in April 2021, the website was updated for promotion of the new film, though the 1986 content remained available as a separate landing page. And as we go to the sequel, okay, so we're gonna go to the sequel right now. All right. Okay. So, Space Jam: A New Legacy is a 2021 American live-action animated sports comedy film directed by Malcolm D. Lee, serving as a standalone sequel to Space Jam. Yeah, this guy said it wasn't a sequel. Then how come it's in? Then how come it says it's considered a sequel? It's not a reboot, but it's more of a sequel. Like, come on, be serious. Um, it is the first theatrically released film to feature the Looney Tunes characters since Looney Tunes Back in Action 2003, and is also a combination of live action, traditional hand drawn animation, and 3D CGI effects. The film stars basketball player LeBron James as a fictionalized version of himself, along with Don Cheadle, Chris Davis, Sonequa Martin Green, and Cedric Joe in live action roles, while Jeff Bergman, Eric Bauza, and Zendaya headlined the Looney Tunes voice cast. Set in a shared Warner Brothers virtual space multiverse, the film follows James teaming up with the Looney Tunes to win a basketball match against digitized champions to rescue his son from a deceitful artificial intelligence. Hmm. Okay. Um. Okay. Here we go. So, talks for a Space Jam successor began after the release of the first film, which Joe Pitta would have returned to direct. Spike Brandt and Tony Savone signed on as the animation supervisors, but eventually the deal fell through due to Michael Jordan's refusal to return. Several possible spin-offs focusing on Other athletes, including Jeff Gordon, Tiger Woods, and Tony Hawk, were also discussed but never came to fruition. After several years of languishing, a LeBron James-led sequel was officially announced in 2014, with filming under Terrence Nance took place from June to September 2019 around Los Angeles. After a few weeks into filming, Nance left the project and Lee was hired to replace him in July 2019. Hold on, guys. All right. Space Jam: A New Legacy premiered in Los Angeles on July 12th, 2021, and was released in the United States on July 16th, simultaneously in theaters and through HBO Max for a month after its theatrical release. The film has grossed $135 million worldwide and received generally negative reviews from critics who found it spoiled with product placement by the studio and lacking in the original film's quirky and self-referential humor. Um, Let me give this to the amount of money. It actually beat Black Widow, by the way, as number one. So it's number one in the box office as well as the other movie Jungle Cruise and stuff. So it did well though, man. So here it is. Um, so um, should I go over the casting? I think you guys could look up the casting yourselves. I was gonna go over it, but I'm not gonna do that to you. Yeah. Um. So, um, a sequel to Space Jam was planned as early as 1996, shortly after the original film was released in theaters worldwide. As development began, Space Jam 2 was going to involve a new basketball competition between Michael Jordan and the Looney Tunes and Berserko, a new alien villain who was planned to be voiced by Mel Brooks. Artist Bob Camp was tasked with designing Berserko, and his henchman, Joe Pitta, would have returned to direct, and Spike Brandt and Tony Servan signed on as the animation supervisors. However, yeah, that shit was crazy. Um, yeah, that shit was crazy though. Okay, I want to address something about the director who criticized Space Jam: A New Legacy. Look, I'll say this though. That that shit was kind of grimy on his part though, man. You knew damn well. You knew damn well that Space Jam: A New Legacy was going to be number one in the box office, and it succeeded and it beat Black Widow. So why the hell you hating on the movie for? It's like it's like it's like this guy looks like he's about to rip his hair out and about to have a bad hair day or whatever or some shit like that. Look, it's never going to be the same as the 1996 version, okay? Because if it was like the 1996 version, it wouldn't be any more room for growth. And 1996 was for the 90s. This year was for the new generation. Like, come on. Be serious, man. Like, why you gotta hate for, man? And I'm sorry for the director, but he's getting this buzzer. Man, when I saw the trailer for Space Jam: New Legacy, I find it very interesting, and I'm pretty sure a lot of family members already probably went to go see it. and I'm pretty sure it had a lot of humor too. Like, come on, man. Like, this goes way back to the previous episode when I was talking about the sequel to Coming to America. It was never it was never gonna be like the first one, because if it was gonna be like the first one, the story wouldn't be different. Just like just like Space Jam. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? That's my take on it. And I'm gonna keep on going with this show right here. All right, let me go over the music soundtrack here. Um, so review scores from Pitchfork, it gave it 2.3 out of 10. In January 2020, Hans Zimmer was announced as the composer for the film. By April of the same year, Chris Bowers was announced to be working with Zimmer as co-composers. However, in January 2021, it was officially confirmed that Bowers would receive sole credit. The soundtrack was released on July 9th, 2021, and labeled by Republic Records and Water Tower Music. Of course, let me see. Of course, it includes Little Baby, Kirk Franklin, We Win, Control the World, 24 Karat Golden, Little Wayne, See Me Fly, Chance the Rapper, John Legend, Simba, Hoops, Sweetie, Salt and Pepper, Cash Doll, Pump Up the Jam, Little Uzi Vert, Just for Me, St. John, SZA, Crowd Go Crazy, John Legend, Mercy, Jonas Brothers, Lil Tecca, Anime, Game Time, About That Time, Dame Dollar, G-Eazy, and P-Lo, White Dave. Shit. MVP, Brock Hampton, Settle the Score, Corday, Duckworth, Lauren Looney, Big Frida, Shoot My Shot, Joyner Lucas, My Guy, Leon Bridges, and The Best. So let's go with the marketing. The marketing campaign from Warner Brothers for Space Jam: A New Legacy began on July 31st, 2020, when a hat with the film's logo became available on the Studio Shop website. That August, it was announced that Moose Toys was Moose Toys made a deal with Warner Brothers to make merchandise for the film, along with the 2021 live action animated Tom and Jerry hybrid film. On April 3rd, 2021, the first trailer was released, which revealed a number of references and characters who made cameos from franchises owned by Warner Brothers. Jordan Hoffman from Vanity Fair compared the trailer to Disney's Tron franchise and fellow Warner Brothers film Ready Player One. That same month, Hasbro also made a deal with Warner Brothers to make two Space Jam A New Legacy versions of their board game properties, Monopoly and Connect 4. That May, Warner Brothers partnered with the over 200 brands worldwide to promote Space Jam: A New Legacy. Other promotional partners include Kraft Heinz, General Mills, Funko, Hallmark Cards, GameStop, Mattel, and Spalding. On June 9th, Nike and Converse revealed their tie-in merchandise for the film, which included numerous footwear and sportswear. The film is also set to debut the new LeBron 19 shoes. The following day, Warner Bros. Released another trailer for the film, took the same effect as the first one, In addition to showing more focus on the Goon Squad, um, the Goon Squad also composed of avatars of various famous NBA players such as Klay Thompson, Anthony Davis, Damian Lillard, Diana Taurasi, Necker, and Zendaya as Lola Bunny. Brianna Ziegler of Paste marked the film's look like it might be fun in a turn your brain off and enter the void sort of way. On June 29th, DC Comics released a graphic novel adaptation of the film. Uh, a tie-in video game with ideas designed by Ricky of the United States and Narayan of India and developed by Digital Eclipse was released on July 1st exclusively on the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate Perks program. That same month, McDonald's launched its limited time campaign in the participating restaurants by including 12 toys free with the purchase of a Happy Meal, while Warner Brothers collaborated NFTs to release a collection of 91,000 limited edition NFTs featuring characters from the movie, including Bugs Bunny, Tweety, Porky Pig, and LeBron James. A large amount of NFTs are planned to be released to balance rarity with broad accessibility, driving engagement around the film for as many Space Jam fans as possible. Television advertisements of Space Jam: A New Legacy began airing on April 3rd, with the film's overall spending of $15.2 million. But ads of the film can be seen through NBA or NBC and TNT, Cartoon Network, America's Got Talent on NBC, and SpongeBob SquarePants and The Loud Noise on Nickelodeon. The film was promoted with the third Teen Titans Go movie titled Teen Titans Go See Space Jam, which aired on Cartoon Network on June 20th, 2021. Now for the reception. All right. So the box office. As of August 8th, Space Jam: New Legacy has grossed 65 point. I repeat, 65.7 million dollars in the United States and Canada, and 69.8 million in the other territories, for a worldwide total of $135.5 million. And sorry for the rain, folks. I can't really control the weather. In the United States and Canada, the film was released alongside Escape Room: Tournament of Champions and was initially projected to gross around 20 million from 3,695 theaters in its opening weekend. However, after making 13.1 million on its first day, estimates were raised to 32 million. It went on to debut to 31.1 million, the best opening weekend for a family film and the second highest for a Warner Brothers film of the COVID-19 pandemic, behind Godzilla vs. Kong, 31.6 million, and besting the original 27.5 million without inflation. The film attracted a diverse audience, with African Americans making up 36%, Caucasian 32%, Latino 23%, and Asian 9%, with a total of 48% being under the age of 17. The film fell 69% to $9.6 million in its sophomore frame, finishing fourth. The steep decline was blamed in part on the film's simultaneous digital release on HBO Max. The film then grossed 4.2 million in its third weekend, finishing sixth. Critical response. On review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, the film holds an approval rating of 27% based on 204, with an average rating of 4.5 out of 10. The website's critical consensus reads, despite LeBron James best efforts to make a winning team out of the Tune Squad. Space Jam: A New Legacy trades the zany humor of its predecessor for a shameless and tired exercise in IP-driven branding. According to Metacritic, which assigned a weighted average score of 36 out of 100 based on 44 critics, the film received generally unfavorable reviews. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of A minus on an A plus to F scale, the same as the first film, while Post-Track reported 78 of those gave it a positive score with 58%, saying they would definitely recommend it. Giving it a C, the AV Club um, AA Dowd stated the film's comprehensiveness did nothing, although it made misdirections, which was subject to glittering CGI trash heap of cameos, pat life lessons, and stale internet catchphrases. Writing for the South China Morning Post, James Marsh gave the film 1 out of 5 stars and criticized its use of product placement, which he felt neglected both supporters of the NBA and Looney Tunes, calling it a supposed family comedy woefully devoid of laughs. Marsh concluded that it fell just short of asking audience point blank to subscribe to HBO Max, and was ultimately a vacuous, vacuous and cynical experience that shoots far wide of the mark. In her 2.5 out of 5 star review, um, Wenli Ma of news.com.au criticized the film for overtly promoting Warner Bros. IP, saying, "It's a shame that the cross promotion was so nauseating and over the top because otherwise Space Jam: New Legacy has a lot of value. It's more entertaining and better paced than the original. The characters' designs for the opposing team are impressive, and it's even used the Looney Tunes characters in a way that stays true to their legacy, while also introducing them to a new generation of kids." Sorry. Um, Alonzo Durald of The Rap said that the film barely has jokes for the Looney Tunes, let alone the entire Warner Bros. Cast of characters, and wrote, "Viewers who, for whatever reason, love the first Space Jam may well find themselves delighted all over again. But as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to plunge a beloved sports figure into a century's worth of pop culture icon iconography, A New Legacy is a big fat airball." Oh gosh. Hagan Osborne of Film Inc. was more positive about the film, writing, "What is most thrilling about A New Legacy is the liveliness of the worlds created, with each destination carrying with it a varying style of animation that brings with it added freshness." Amy Nicholson of Variety says Space Jam: A New Legacy is chaotic, rainbow sprinkled colored nonsense that, unlike the original, manages to hold together as a movie. Kristen Page Kirby, writing for the Washington Post, gave the film a score of 2 stars out of 4, saying, in quote, "There is no reason for the sequel tribute to the original 1996 film to exist, but now that it does, there's no reason to wish that it didn't," and added that the film has just enough momentum, heart, and spirit, even as if does both way too much and not quite enough. And this is corporate synergy fired up to a terrifying new level. There's still enough heart at the movie center to keep it from becoming all businesses. Corey Coleman and Martin Thomas of Double Toasted the former of whom worked as an animator on the original Space Jam, gave it a positive review. While they admitted that the film felt like an advertisement for HBO Max, they praised the creative use of the characters and the acting, though they took ire with some of the outdated references. So for the future, after the release of the film, a third Space Jam was in the talks by director Malcolm D. Lee, with Dwayne Johnson involved as the lead, transitioning on the sports genre from basketball to professional wrestling. Um, um, okay. The last one I'm going to review is one of my favorite TV shows that I believe me, my sister, and along with a lot of people that used to watch on Fox 5 is called Living Single. So that's the last topic of the night. Here we go. So Living Single is an American television sitcom that aired for 5 seasons on the Fox network from August 22nd, 1983 to January 1st, 1998. The show centered on the lives of 6 friends who shared personal and professional experiences while living in a Brooklyn brownstone. Um, of course, you guys already know the casting already of Living Single, so I'm not even going to go over that as much. So we're going to go to let's go to the development. Queen Latifah and Ken Coles both had development deals with Fox. In March 1983, Fox announced that Queen Latifah and Coles would star in a comedy sitcom called My Girls about roommates in New York City. The character of Khadijah was created for Queen Latifah. Khadijah is an entrepreneur who started an urban lifestyle magazine, much as Latifah is an entrepreneur who started her own hip hop record label to be exact. Fox changed the show's name to Living Single a mere 3 weeks before its television debut. Now we go to the reception. All right. The reception goes like this. During Living Single's first season, it consistently garnered higher ratings than Martin, which aired in the time slot immediately before it on Thursday nights, and it quickly became the fourth highest rated show aired on Fox. As you can hear, the thunderstorms is raining. I can't really control that, but let's keep going. Throughout its run, Living Single became one of the most popular African American sitcoms of its era, ranking among the top 5 in African American ratings in all 5 seasons. Newspaper critics contrasted Living Single with the NBC sitcom It Inspired Friends. Living Single featured successful black characters, including an attorney, a stockbroker, and a business owner. In contrast to Friends, which featured white characters, including a waitress, a folk singer, and an unemployed actor. Show creator Yvette Lee Bozer was disappointed that Warner Brothers did not promote Living Single nearly as much as it did Friends. Let's see. All right. Now, I'm not gonna go over the episodes, and I'm not gonna go over the cast and characters. You guys can look it up yourselves. Um, so Warner Home Video released the complete first season of Living Single on DVD in Region 1 on February 14, 2006. The entire series is also available for digital download on Amazon.com and the iTunes Store. Warner Archive subsequently released seasons 2 to 5 on DVD in Region 1. These are manufactured on demand releases available from Warner's online store and Amazon.com. So, first season with 27 episodes, February 14th, 2006. Second season, 27 episodes, September 19th, 2017. Third season, 27 episodes, November 21st, 2017. Fourth season, 24 episodes, March 20th, 2018. Fifth season, 13 episodes, June 5th, 2018. Now, I didn't know the show was going to be canceled, so we're going to read the reason why it was canceled. So just bear with me, guys. In 1997, Fox announced that it had ordered 13 episodes of the fifth of Living Single, but that the episodes would be delayed until January 1988. 3 months later, Fox made a change to its fall schedule, delayed the airing of a new comedy called Rewind, and decided to air Living Single's fifth season on September 11th. The final episode of the fifth season aired on January 1st, 1988. Fox decided to cancel the show afterwards. And the crossovers. Okay. Half and half, Erica Alexander, who used to be on The Cosby Show, and T.C. Carson reprised their roles of Maxine Shaw and Kyle Barker on the UPN sitcom Half and Half. In the episode, ambitious law student Dee Dee learns that her mother's co-star in a play is engaged to Maxine, Dee Dee's idol. However, her mother gets Maxine's beau Kyle fired because she feels he will take attention away from her. The episode also revealed that Maxine and Kyle remained a couple and were the proud parents of their 7-year-old daughter named Kyla. The crew. Okay, in one episode, the main season of the short-lived Fox sitcom, The Crew, Regine becomes a passenger on a flight and argues with a sassy stewardess in hopes of upgrading to first class. On another episode, the worst Noel, Sinclair also becomes a passenger. The episode served as a bridge for The Crew and its lead in show Living Single. Oh boy. I'm not even gonna go over it. I'm not even gonna go to syndication. So there has been reunion specials. Okay, an hour-long retrospective special Living Single. The reunion show aired on TV One on September 22nd, 2008. Coles, Henton, Fields, Carson, and Alexander reunited to share fond memories with the fans. Queen Latifah and Mel Jackson were unavailable to participate. The special featured clips and reviewing secrets of the cast from the show's 5-year run. From August 24th to 26th, 2018, TV One aired a weekend marathon of Living Single to highlight the 25th anniversary of the show. Coles, Henson, Fields, and Carson reunited once again to share memories with the fans, to share their thoughts on the characters they portrayed, and provide a tribute to Rita Owens, Queen Latifah's real-life and TV mother, who had passed in early 2018. Queen Latifah, Erica Alexander, and Mel Jackson were unavailable to participate. Okay. So now the concept. Creator Yvette Lee Bowser's initial goal was to develop a show about herself and her friends that would change the portrayal of young Black people on television. Her overall goal was to portray Black characters in a positive and less stereotypical light. She also noted that the women represented on Living Single are 4 different sides of herself. Excuse me. Saying in an interview that I've been as ditzy as Sinclair, as superficial as Regine, as bitter as Max, and as focused and driven as Khadijah. Now, the reception. Audience reception. Living Single was never one of the highest rated programs among audiences during its run from 1983 to 1988. Indeed, the show has struggled to break into lists of top televisions programs that were viewed by larger audiences and never broke into the top 50, though it was a high performer for the Fox network itself. As you can hear the thunderstorm going on, I can't control that. Those who loved and watched the show regularly have told the show creator Yvette Lee Bozer that they connect with its characters, love the cast, and are inspired by the positive, elegant, and professional portrayal of Black people on television. Bozer noted that people say our characters remind them of themselves, their friends, or their relatives. They all know someone like one of the characters. And now we go to the awards and nominations. Now, Image Awards, Outstanding Actress in a Comedy Series, Erica Alexander won. Outstanding Comedy Series won. Outstanding Actress in a Comedy Series, Queen Latifah nominated. Outstanding Lead Actress in a Comedy Series, King Coles won. Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series, T.C. Carson. Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series, John Henton, nominated. In 1985, 1986, Living Single was nominated for Primetime Emmy Awards for Outstanding Lighting Direction, Electronic, for a Comedy Series, Brian Hayes. And here's my verdict about all the stuff that we reviewed today on this show. Now Rakim's discography. We learned about the two Space Jam movies, Space Jam and Space Jam: A New Legacy, and just reviewed Living Single. Now, overall, they're all classics. They are basically fire and a masterpiece. And I say that is because a lot of people enjoyed watching those shows, listening to, Rakim's albums, and of course, the Space Jam movies and stuff. So that's my overall statement. And that's going to conclude episode 10 of Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast. Listen, if you like what you heard, be sure to show some love by making a charitable donation to my Cash App, which is $G Money Stacks 555. That's $GMONEY STACKZ 555. And also, I want to go to the streaming platforms where you can listen to the podcast episodes. So, of course, let me pull it up real quick. Let me pull it up real quick. All right. Okay, here we go. So, here are some choices to listen to Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast episodes. So, we are on Anchor, Audible, Amazon Music, Breaker, Deezer, Player FM, Pocket Cast, Podfriend, Podcast Addict, Podchaser. And please feel free to go to the Podchaser and Podfriend links to leave a 5-star rating and to voice your opinions on there in the comments section. We are on Reason FM. We're on Spotify. We're on Stitcher. We're on TuneIn Radio. Don't forget to listen to Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast episodes on Google Podcasts. We're on iHeartRadio. And last but not least, YouTube. And like I said previously in the beginning, I'm taking a break from Twitch because I wanted to actually, make sure that that I create the YouTube channel Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast, which I'm going to discuss right now. Um, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel of Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast. Enable alerts. Tap the notification bell for more video content, and to be reminded of when the show goes on the air live via live stream, upcoming episodes, previous episodes that was recorded that will automatically be posted onto the YouTube channel page. Be sure to like, be sure to download your favorite episodes. Be sure to download, actually, be sure to rate, be sure to um, leave a comment with the episodes alongside with the topics. Like, share the videos with your friends. Be sure to tell a friend to another friend. And be sure to please share the podcast with all your streaming platforms with your friends. And and that's gonna do it. Remember, if remember to reach out to your loved ones, your friends, your family members, your girlfriends, boyfriends, wife, husbands, to see how they're doing mentally, physically, and spiritually. It's important because of mental health. That person might be fine on the outside, but on the inside, that person might not be. So you don't have to wait every year for Mental Health Awareness Month of May to actually reach out to somebody. There is no good time to reach out to somebody, by the way. You just go with your instincts and go with your gut and go with your heart. Because at the end of the day, you never know when they might have a positive reaction for a person that reaches out to them. You know what I'm saying? And that's fucking real. Um Also, if you have a dream and you would like to create a podcast like myself or any other career fields whatsoever, don't let these online flizzies, aka clown burgers, stop you from achieving what you can and can't do. Because at the end of the day, you doing something that you're making yourself fucking happy. You're not pleasing fucking everybody else. Because everybody else is not meant to be pleased. Because they're a bunch of miserable dumbasses that like to drain people's energy. And you have to be really, really careful of where you put your energy on. And that way you get to eat them up like this. Listen, this has been Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast episode 10. I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening, tuning in, and rocking with me. I'm G Money Stacks. Be safe. Be sure to mask up. Be sure to care for other people other than yourself, because there's no room for selfishness. I'm G Money Stacks. I'm clocking out. Peace and one love. And have a good night.